Mula noon, lalo ngayon, sa lahat ng sulok ng mundo, mayroong Pilipino. Kilala sa tiyaga at talino, sikat makipagkapwa-tao. Sino ka ba, Pilipino? Ano ba ang biyahe mo? Sino kayo? Sino ako?
Ikaw ba'y nagtataka kung ano ang Pilipino? Mga tao, bagay, hayop at lugar malapit sa puso ko. Kung iyong tatanungin kung sino ako, kita'y sasagutin ng mga bagay na ito.
Pabasa, jeep na magara, diwata, bathala, banig ng mga bata, hilomon, ilang-ilang ang ating kalayaan. Ito ang nagsasabing Pilipino ako. Si Rizal, Lapu-Lapu at Andres Bonifacio, Carlos, Francisco, mga Pinoy tulad ko. Sinigang, turo-turo, pati ang ating yoyo. Ito ang pulso ng pagiging Pilipino.
Ito ang nagsasabing ika'y Pilipino. Mga sagisag ng kultura na naman ako. Kung iyong tatanungin kung sino ako, kita'y sasagutin ng mga bagay na ito.
May andito't tinalak sa Torogan, bahay na bato'y may pahiyas naman. Sa Lido may bayanihan, panaag at sikat ang ating mga kulay sa pambansang watawan. Panoy, Pakunawa, Baybayin, Butandring, Paduka, Batara, Ukay-ukay, Waling-wali. May Noli, may Pili, Florante at Laura. May Tsaryong Tagalog at titik ng Kartilya.
Ito ang nagsasabing ika'y Pilipino. Mga sagisag ng kultura na naman ako. Kung iyong tatanungin kung sino ako, kita'y sasagutin ng mga bagay na ito.
Kundi man kudyapi, kulintan sa aking awit. Sayaw ay tugso, tinikling maglalati. May musikong bumbong, ginaw, ilog at rondalya. Sa maon, Sulaiman at ang romantikong saswela. Para luman pasalubong, Pasko at Pasyon. Payo, pandisal at ang bulkang mayon. Halo-halo man ito sa iisang bayong. Tayong mga Pinoy sa balangay ng panahon.
Ito ang nagsasabing ika'y Pilipino.
Filipino ako, Filipino ako.
Sagisag ng kultura na naman ako.
Sagisag ng kultura ko.
Kung iyong
Kung tatanungin mo ako,
kung sino ako,
kung sino ba ako,
kita'y sasagutin ng mga bagay na ito.
kultura ko.
Ito ang nagsasabing ika'y Pilipino.
Filipino ako, Filipino ako.
Sagisag ng kultura na naman ako.
Sagisag ng kultura ko.
Kung iyong tatanungin kung sino
ba ako,
kita'y sasagutin ng mga bagay na ito.
Filipino ako.
Ako ay Filipino.
Now that you know you are a Filipino, the question is, how can you protect and preserve your culture as a Filipino or as an indigenous people? To answer this question, today, let's talk about the government agencies in the Philippines that are responsible for the indigenous peoples. We have the Ncip and Ncca. So here's your reporters for today's discussion.
Hi, I'm Hazen Rivera.
I'm Beverly Jane Gloria. And I'm Jeremy Carriedo Buma-at.
Hi, good morning. It's a great day to start knowing our fellow Filipino people. The indigenous, especially our culture, are protected by the government. So, what are these government agencies and how they work? We actually do have the Ncip and Ncca. But now, let's talk about first the Ncip and dig deeper on its role. Ncip, or National Commission on Indigenous People, is an agency that shall protect and promote the interest and well-being of the ICCs or IPs with due regard to their beliefs, customs, and institutions. So, Ncip really plays a big role in sustaining and ensuring that rights of the indigenous people are achieved. with its mission to primarily focus on their rights with regard to their ancestral domains and lands, self-governance and empowerment, social justice and human rights, and cultural integrity, which was actually discussed by the previous reporters, so I will not go any further there. In Ncip, they're actually expecting two-sector outcome. First is that Philippine culture and values are promoted, like those socially constructed practices that we Filipinos depict, such as those desirable traits, customs, laws, type of dress, architectural style, social standards, and traditions. And for the second part is that ecological integrity ensured and socio-economic condition of resource-based communities are improved. So why is it really a need to protect and support our indigenous people? Is it about giving them a special treatment? Definitely no. In the Philippines, conserving unique biodiversity relies on the knowledge, innovation, and practices of indigenous and local communities who live in direct contact with nature. They help protect our environment, fight climate change, and build resilience to natural disasters. Therefore, we must build public awareness, recognize their role in conservation, and bridge the gap between policy and practice. At this moment, we have now gained a background information on what is Ncip. Now, let's move to the power and functions of the Commission.
We already know what Ncip is for. Its purpose where it aims to protect and promote our ICCs or IPs. So now, let's discuss on how they will able to portray their role as a government agency who's specifically to serve our ICCs or IPs. In Republic Act number 8371, under Chapter 7, which is the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, or Ncip, in Section 44, Power and Functions of the Commission, which is to accomplish its mandate, the Ncip shall have the following powers, jurisdiction, and function. First, to serve as the primary government agency through which ICCs or IPs can seek government assistance and as the medium through which such assistance be extended. From the word primary, this means that the Ncip is the first government agency that the ICCs or IPs can reach out if they need any kind of government assistance, such as their protection or well-being, and also stand as the medium or diri magikan ang any kind of assistance. Second, to review and assess the conditions of ICCs or IPs, including existing laws and ideas pertinent thereto, and to propose relevant laws and policies to address role in national development. It means maybe during assembly or meetings or forums of IPs, the Commission will review and assess the conditions that were given by the ICCs or IPs together with the existing laws if applicable or relevant ba tong mga conditions. And they have the power to propose laws and policies to address those concerns nga makatabang sa pagpalambo sa atong ICCs or IPs. Next, to formulate and implement policies, plans, programs, and projects for the economic, social, and cultural development of the ICCs or IPs, and to monitor the implementation thereof. Example of the program they implemented is the culturally appropriate, responsive, and gender-sensitive socio-economic and ecology development protection services, where provides for policy support and extension of assistance to ICCs or IPs. The Commission also monitor or check if these programs or projects were effective or well implemented. Next, to request and engage the services and support of experts from other agencies of government or employ private experts and consultants as may be required in the pursuit of its objectives. It means that in order to reach the objective, which is to protect and promote the ICCs or IPs, the Commission will also collaborate with the different government agencies or reach out for experts and consultants. Next, to issue Certificate of Ancestral Land or Domain Title. Simply means that the Ncip is the one will issue or provide a certificate of ancestral land or domain title to the ICCs or IPs. Next, subject to existing laws to enter into contracts, agreements, arrangement with government or private agencies or entities as may be necessary to attain objectives of this act, and subject to approval of the President to obtain loans from government lending institutions and other lending institutions to finance its programs. Means in order to accomplish the objectives with the engagement of the government or private agencies, Ncip are responsible in finding ways on funding or giving finance to their programs through obtaining loans from government or private lending institutions with the approval of the President. Next, to negotiate for funds and to accept grants, donations, gifts, and or properties in whatever form and from whatever source, local and international, subject to the approval of the President of the Philippines for the benefit of ICCs or IPs and administer the same in accordance with the terms thereof or in the absence of any condition, in such manner consistent with the interests of ICCs or IPs as well as existing laws. So, with the approval of the President, the commissions will accept any kind of donations or properties without any conditions, for it will benefit our ICCs or IPs. Next, to coordinate development programs and projects for the advancement of ICCs or IPs and to oversee the proper implementation thereof. The Commission should come up with various programs and projects for the betterment of ICCs or IPs and also will supervise these programs. Next, to convene periodic conventions or assemblies of IPs to review, assess, as well as propose policies or plans. This also similar to the second function, which was stated a while ago, where Ncip will hold an assembly with the ICCs or IPs to review, assess, and propose policies or plans, projects, or programs for the improvement of the ICCs or IPs.
To advise the President of the Philippines on all matters relating to the ICCs or IPs and to submit within 60 days after the close of each calendar year a report of its operation and achievements. To submit to Congress appropriate legislative proposals intended to carry out the policies under this Act. To prepare and submit the appropriate budget to the Office of the President. To issue appropriate certification as a precondition to the grant of permit, lease, grant, or any other similar authority for the disposition, utilization, management, and appropriation by any private individual, corporate entity, or any government agency, corporation, or subdivision thereof, or any part or portion of the ancestral domain, taking into consideration the consensus approval of the ICCs or IPs concerned. To decide all appeals from the decisions and acts of all the various offices within the Commission. To promulgate the necessary rules and regulations for the implementation of this Act. to exercise such other powers and functions as may be directed by the President of the Republic of the Philippines and to represent the Philippine ICCs or IPs in all international conferences and conventions dealing with indigenous people and other related concerns. To sum it up, Ncip is the primary government agency that formulates and implements policies, plans, and programs for the recognition, promotion, and protection of the rights and well-being of indigenous people. That's why Ncip is significant. Now, I'll give the moment to Ms. Jeremy Buma-at to discuss the other agency.
National Commission for Culture and the Arts. Bukal ng pagiging malikhain, ang pagpapahayag ng mga taong pinagkaisa ng mga magkakatulad na kasaysayan at ng walang hanggang pinagmumulan ng kakaibang sigla ng kaisipan at damdaming umaaruga sa pagpapahalaga sa sarili at pagkatao ng mga mamamayan bilang isang bansa. Imahinasyon ang kaluluwa ng kultura at kalinangan ng isang bayan, ang sagisag na walang gapos at hindi natatakdaan ng panahon o anumang pangyayari. Hinahayaan niya itong mahubog bilang instrumento ng kadakilaan. Iniipon ang mga minimithi ng isang bansa na nagkakaisa at binibigyang kapangyarihan ng kultura at kalinangan. Ang Pambansang Komisyon para sa Kultura at Mga Sining o National Commission for Culture and the Arts ay natatag. The National Commission for Culture and the Arts or Ncca is the overall policy-making body, coordinating and grants-giving agency for the preservation, development, and promotion of Philippine arts and culture. Nagsimula bilang Presidential Commission for Culture and the Arts, ang Ncca ay naging pambansang komisyon sa ilalim ng tanggapan ng Pangulo ng Pilipinas sa pamamagitan ng Republic Act 7356 na nilagdaan noong 3 ng Abril 1992. As a lead government agency for culture, it administers and coordinates the activities of its 6 attached cultural agencies. We have the National Museum, the National Library of the Philippines, the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, the Cultural Center of the Philippines, the National Archives of the Philippines, and the Commission on the Filipino Language. It likewise administers the National Endowment Fund for Culture and the Arts or NEFCA, known as Ncca, established to support art and cultural programs of the country. Ang Ncca ay pinapamahalaan ng isang lupon ng mga komisyonado na binubuo ng 11 kinatawan mula sa lehislatura at hekutibong sangay ng pamahalaan at 4 na kinatawan mula sa pribadong sektor.
The Board of Commissioner is ably assisted by the National Advisory Board, composed of the heads of the 19 committees, clustered into 4 subcommissions, representing different sectors of culture and the arts. The Subcommission on Cultural Dissemination. The Subcommission on the Arts. The Subcommission on Cultural Communities and Traditional Arts. And the Subcommission on Cultural Heritage. The Ncca is created and mandated to formulate and implement policies and plans in accordance with the principles stated in Title I of Republic Act No. 7356. To formulate policies for development of culture and the arts. To implement these policies in coordination with affiliated cultural agencies. To coordinate implementation of programs of these affiliated agencies. To administer the National Endowment Fund for Culture and the Arts or NEFCA. To encourage artistic creation within a climate of artistic freedom. To develop and promote the Filipino national culture and arts, and to preserve Filipino cultural heritage. Ang NCCA ay kinikilala bilang institusyon na tagagawa ng mga alituntunin upang pagkaisahin ang pambansang pagsisikap para sa kultura at kalinangan. Ang NCCA ay kumikilala sa pananaw na ang kalinangang Pilipino ay bukal na kalingang pambansa at pandaigdig. Kaya nilalayo nitong pangalagaan ang mga pamanang Pilipino, panatilihin ang mga tradisyon at sikaping isama ito sa kasalukuyang daloy ng kultura. Ipalaganap ang produkto ng kalinangan at kultura sa buong bansa at sandaigdigan.
Sa digmaong kultura, hindi usa sa kaliwatong kasaysayan, sa pakikisog, batik sa pagkatao.
Ito ang Pambansang Komisyon para sa Kultura at mga Sining o ang National Commission for Culture and the Arts, NCCA.